Hi, welcome to The Wise Widow. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I hope these are helpful for many widows out there. Whether you're a new widow or whether this is something that you've been dealing with and your journey's been going on for several months or several years. Sometimes we need a little reminder about a few things. And today we're going to talk about identifying our priorities and our boundaries. So way back in the beginning when my husband first passed, I wish I would have known some of this. Every person that you and or your husband ever knew suddenly shows up. And lots of them show up on your doorstep. Or they simply are constantly calling you, making demands on you, and we need to set those boundaries and we need to protect ourselves. If we need some space to be alone and some alone time, we need to be able to take that without people getting upset or all awkward about it, and finding a little bit of respect for what we need. So when my husband first passed, actually the evening that he passed, I had somebody that kept calling us, and we had to come for dinner, and you guys need to eat and you need to come for dinner. And you know what? That was the last thing we wanted to do. But we went out of obligation, felt like we should because this person was being so demanding that we went. And it was awkward for us. We didn't want to be there. And I really regret that we went. I regret that I didn't just say, you know what? We want to stay home. We need to spend time together. We'll catch up with you another day. But we didn't. We went. And it put everybody that was there in a very awkward position, and it wasn't fun for anybody. We were all fighting back tears. Our emotions were running wild. And I know that this person meant well, but it wasn't fair to our family. So we want to talk about a few things like that, a few of the boundaries that we want to set. Lots of people come knocking on your door. People are sending flowers, and people are bringing food, and people are phoning. I think it's very important that if you're not up for the visits, that you don't have to do it. I had a very good friend at my house that came to be with me, and I should have utilized her more. I should have had her answering the door and saying, you know, the family is just taking some time for themselves right now. What's your name? I'll let them know that you were here, and they'll reach out to you. I found that some of the people that came, I don't necessarily know if they were here for us or whether they were here for them. Some of them I felt came for us to support them, and I very much felt like I was hosting and supporting other people, and I just wasn't up to it. But I didn't turn anybody away, and I really wish that I would have. I wish I would have had my friend answering the door and just telling people, you know what, not today. Had people show up to my door, came in, way overstayed their welcome, didn't just come for a little bit, never left. Then we did need to eat, and instead of me kicking them out of my house, I was like, so do you want something to eat? We're going to eat. And they would, oh yeah, sit down and eat with us, and really overstayed their welcome. So I guess if people are coming to visit, I would say 15-20 minutes maximum. That should be the visit. And then, okay, we just want to make sure you were okay, and they should go. But people don't. They come. They already feel awkward, but then they feel awkward leaving. And then it puts all of us in a very awkward position. So it's just a very difficult thing that I think you need to take care of you. Set your boundaries of who you want visiting you, who you want there, how long. I don't know, it might sound rude, but I really wish I would have said to some of these people, you know what, I'm just really feeling anxious right now or not doing well, and we'll catch up with you again, and hopefully they would get the hint. I had some people that brought food over and they would simply drop it off, say hello, stay for a minute or two and leave. And that was great. You know, I really feel if somebody comes to your door, if you don't feel like answering the door, don't answer the door. If your phone rings and you don't want to talk to that person at that time, don't answer your phone. Now, I'm not saying seclude yourself, because that's not healthy either. We need to talk to people. There are things that need to be taken care of, and there are things that we need to do. But there are some people that it's too soon. Or like I said, I felt like I was hosting them. Oh, do you need a coffee? Can I get you something to drink? You know, it put a lot of pressure on my children and I. Another thing that you need to set boundaries at, and I very much did, I had my husband's family trying to tell me what I needed to do for the funeral, for the obituary. And you know what? I didn't allow it. I said, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm doing it. This is the obituary I have written. And honestly, I said, if you don't like the obituary that I wrote, you can write your own. You can have two. So my boundary, when I wrote the obituary, a lot of obituaries, they name so many people in them. And if I read an obituary and they're naming all these people that they're survived by and all the people that predeceased them and so on and so forth, I don't care about that when I'm reading an obituary. I want to read about the person that has passed. So that was the way I wrote the obituary. I put my name in and Daryl's children and grandchildren. And I didn't get into all of the family members, because as soon as you put in one, then you have to put in another and another. And I didn't want 2 pages or 2 paragraphs full of family names of people that predeceased and people that are surviving him. So I think that that's a very, very strong boundary that you should set, and you need to do what you want to do. We're his partner. You are the one that is in control, and take that control. Be able to plan the funeral as you see fit, and if you need your children to help you. Now, with all of that being said, there can be a very, very touchy situation with this if you and your partner do not share all the children, that he had children that are not your children. Sometimes these children step in and they want everything done their way, and they come into the house and almost get grabby. I want this of dad's, and I want that, and I want something, and I want. And that's not fair to you. You really need to dig deep, possibly, and find your strength and be able to say, I'm not going through anything right now. I'm not getting rid of anything right now. When I'm ready, I'll let you know. There will be something for everybody, and go with that. I've heard of, siblings of the spouse that passed and come in and take all the clothes, and I'm just going to clear all this out of the closet for you. There's some widows that leave the clothes in the closet for years. Other people, they want it out right away. And if that's you, that's fine. Get rid of it. But if you want to keep it, you need to be able to keep it. I didn't do anything right away, and I was very, very happy that I didn't, because I later decided to make a quilt out of all of Daryl's pants and heavier shirts, and then I made memory pillows out of all of his nicer shirts, and I gave a memory pillow to the nieces and nephews and the people that I felt really wanted something like that, and that it would be something very comforting to them. So you know what? There's no timeline on this. You need to be able to take your time and do what you need to do, set your boundary for what you need to do, and take care of things in your time. sometimes your children, if you have adult children or siblings or whatever, people are going to be like after you, like right now you need to like find that will, and you need to find this, and you need to get the insurance, and you need, and it's stressful. You're grieving and you're in pain and you're in a fog and you really don't know which end is up. And you know what? That stuff does not need to be done immediately. What does need to be done immediately is figuring out the funeral, the memorial, what you're going to do for your person. And yeah, you need the will so that you can see who has some control and some power. And honestly, you're in that house. It is your house. Even if your partner had other children, adult children that are not your children, you don't have to just let them come in and bulldoze and make all the decisions, because he is your partner. He was your person, and you're allowed to make those decisions and those choices. And I know that you have to dig deep and be strong, and it's hard. The people that you want to help, let them help. But don't let people push you around. Don't let people tell you what you're going to do for the funeral. And some people say, oh, I'm going to send you some money to help with the expenses. But be careful with that, because are they buying their way into control? Well, I gave you money, so now I get a say. I had that happen. I sent the money back. You really, really need to do what it is that is comfortable for you. You don't have to let every person in your house. You don't have to answer every phone call. You don't have to get out of bed every day. If you need to stay in bed, stay in bed. You're allowed. You can set those boundaries. You are allowed to do what you need to do. Once time has gone on, you need to start making some financial decisions. You need to find out about the insurance, stuff like that. If you don't have a financial advisor or someone to advise you in that capacity, you need to find someone. Contact your bank. They will have someone, or they will let you know of someone that can help you. And you will get it all figured out. It's not, you're not the only person that has gone through this. There have been hundreds of thousands of other people that have been through this before, and there's people out there that know how to help you, and you can get it done. Find out who are the people that you can trust, who are the people that are going to genuinely help you, and who are the people that are going to add more stress to this that is unnecessary stress that you really, really don't need at this time. So kind of the bottom line, if you don't want to go, don't go. If you don't want to answer the phone, don't answer the phone. If there's something that somebody is demanding that you do, and you are the one that actually gets to call the shots, you need to call the shots, and you need to do absolutely what is right for you. There's always a balance. Like I said, we can't seclude ourselves, but we do need to take that time for ourselves when we need it and find that little bit of a balance. And we need to learn what life is now. So we need to find the time. So you're going to find that there's going to be the people that reach out to you and come to the funeral and, oh, if you need anything, just let me know. But they're not really there for you. And then, it changes in time as the time goes on. And my analogy of all of the people in our lives, I call it the tree people. So we have the leaf people, and those are the people that, like I said, they're there for a season. They're there for the funeral. They're there for you to support them because they're grieving. They're finding a loss. But they're not necessarily there for you. Those are the leaf people. They come, the season changes, the leaves dry up, fall off the tree, they're gone. Then there's the branch people. The branch people stick around a little bit longer. The branch people are there for us for sometimes just a year. And after all those firsts are over and done with, and they feel that they have been through the first year and they put a timeline on your grief. They think that you should be okay and they quit doing things for you. Those are the branch people. When the storm rolls in and you still need the help, they get a little bit weak in the storm and the branches fall off the tree. Then there's the root people. We all know who our root people are. They're the people that are there for us. We can trust them. They don't ask questions. They don't need anything in return. They aren't doing it for you to have to pay them back. They're there for you through thick and thin. They'll be there for you today. They will be there for you tomorrow, in a month, in a year, in 3 years. They are your people. But there are a lot of branch people. After the first year, there's a lot of people that disappear. And things really change after that first year. And the second year, a lot of people said to me, you know what, Dawn, the second year sometimes is a lot harder because all your people disappear. My friends have really changed. There's a lot of friends that are a lot different, that people don't stick around. They disappear. The branches fall away. So you need to stay strong where you can. Stand up. Say no when you need to say no. That service has to be what you want, because that is your goodbye to your person. Dealing with insurance and personal effects and stuff, you know, that's a very personal thing. You're going to have to figure that out with who your people are. And like I said, sometimes you have a blended family and it can complicate things a little bit. When I talk about boundaries and priorities, I'm talking about what makes you safe. I always talk about self-care. So you need to do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And there are some people I have learned that since Daryl passed, I've had to just sever those cords. I've had to walk away. I've had to take the time for myself. What starts happening after a year, some people start having their own life problems. Their own story starts to unfold, and maybe they have health conditions or something starts happening in people's own lives, and then they kind of forget about you. And they think you should be okay by now, and now everything's about them. Keep those boundaries safe and in place because you still need them. Grief does not end in the first year. It goes on and on. And I'm really not that far into this journey yet. I started The Wise Widow and started doing these videos. Some people have maybe thought that this is a little premature for me to do, but I'm doing it because I want people to come on my journey with me and maybe learn from some of my mistakes or learn from some of my blessings of things that I did correctly. So I just want to make it easier for everybody. If you have comments or advice for us after you see these videos, please comment and share your advice. If you're farther into your journey than I am, I welcome that, because you know this is new to me. It's new to all of us, and it's not something that we've been able to do on our own. You need help. Figure out who you need that help with, who is going to help you, who's going to hinder you, who you can trust. You need to protect your space. You need to protect your time. Protect your material items. There might be things that you want to hold on to. No, you can't have that. I want that. And there's no timeline on that. They have passed. If people don't get something for a year, I guess they don't get it for a year, and that is completely okay. I look at the analogy of the boundaries the same as this. If I had a house guest come into my house, somebody come to visit, and they started breaking things or making a mess or overstaying their welcome and this and that, I would have to speak up and I would have to ask them to leave. And this is the same. Like, you have your boundaries, and if you need to ask people to give you more space, you are allowed to do that. And that's okay. So I'm going to leave it there. I think there's a lot of food for thought here that you can apply to your own situation of what will work for you and what will not work for you. And like I always say, these videos are simply my opinion. Take it or leave it for what it is. Some of what I say you may agree with, some you may not agree with, and that's okay, because we all get through it on our own. I look at things in hindsight of how I let some people take advantage of me a little bit when Daryl passed, and I wish I would have had a little bit tighter boundaries. I thought that I did, but when I look back, I really don't think I had very tight boundaries. That's okay. I can't change it. So what I do is I have my boundaries now. The people that are not healthy for me, I don't be around them, and I protect myself. I've got new friends. I still have some very dear friends that have been friends for years, and you start to figure out who is there for you and who isn't. So blessings to you, my dear listeners, and I hope you have a peaceful day, that you can rest, that you can, if you need to just sit and have a cup of tea and read a book if you can, or listen to a podcast, or watch a show, or listen to music, whatever it is that finds you peace. Do that for yourself. It's important. The self-care, like I say, it is number one, and setting those boundaries and those priorities is very much a part of that self-care. Take care.